What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. So, I spoke about this a week or two ago, but I did erupt Twitter the other day. Because I said what my belief is about corn. I'm going to use corn for the purpose of this debate. I don't really like the word debate, but I would say conversation. I erupted it because I said that corn has saved more marriages than it's destroyed. Now, the reason that I think this is because a lot of women are just terrible wives in America. They're fat, they're obese. That's the biggest thing. They're overweight. They don't sleep with their husbands. They don't really try to look good, be hot. And this has caused men to be in a lot of a predicament. You know, this has made a lot of men, the biggest group of incels is married men. There's a lot of men that are really lonely in their marriages. And these guys are kind of stuck in a corner. They don't know what to do. Their wife isn't sleeping with them. She's ugly anyway, half the time. I mean, you've seen America. The average woman's 170 pounds. And they want to have sex. She won't do it. What do? Now, option A is turn to porn. Option B is divorce. Option C is get a side chick. And I think option B is a lot better. And, I've interviewed a lot of OnlyFans girls. The number one customer, and they'll tell you this, is white married Christian men. So, it's kind of a predicament. So anyways, Lila Rose had a response to this. She disagrees. She disagrees with my opinion, which is fine. So we're going to bring her on and we're going to really just have a conversation about the porn topic. Corn, I can do it. Corn. Back for more, round 2. Welcome to the show, Lila.
Hi, Pearl. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
You couldn't get enough last time. You're back for more, huh?
Listen, I'm happy to talk with you whenever I can. And, it sounds like we have a disagreement on this topic, which I was surprised to see, actually, Pearl, because it seems like your platform, a lot of it is based on you want to help men. It seems to be your platform. And, the social data shows that porn doesn't help men. It's also wrong and immoral. It hurts men and women.
Okay.
And every man that I know is against porn. So it's not like
every
women
man
are against it and men
every
like it.
man that watches porn.
That's not true.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could live in like delusional land or we could be realistic. Most men have consumed porn at one point in their life.
That's
true or
different
untrue?
from saying
True
they
or
are
untrue?
watching porn. Do you see the difference, Pearl?
I mean, we could play semantics.
It's not semantics. It's actually really important because most men and women are exposed to porn, sometimes from ages as young as 8.
We try to say
so that's true.
Try to say corn
Okay.
just so we don't get the stream taken down.
Sure. So most men and women, the large majority of them, are exposed to porn. They've seen porn often as early as 8 years old. As early as 8 years old.
No, corn with a C.
Corn.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay.
But that doesn't mean that, like you just said, the men that Lila, are all watching it. That's not true. So I think there's a distinction.
I want to go through, how do you come to your conclusions about reality?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a Catholic. So I believe that the Catholic Church, theologically and morally, because of divine revelation and natural law, has figured out the faith and morals.
That's fine.
The Bible is a crucial part of it.
Sometimes when you come on, you have a tendency to monologue, and I just want to get to the point. So the Bible, right?
Well, I wouldn't say just the Bible. The Bible, I think, is an essential part. Sacred scripture is really crucial. Okay. But it's also the tradition and the authority of the church on faith and morals. And it's what you can discern through natural law as well, using your reason.
Okay. So the Bible, reason. How would you know?
Not just the Bible, but you're misrepresenting what I'm saying, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. So how would you know if the men in your life were watching porn? Do you really genuinely think they would be honest with you?
I mean, I think that
especially with your platform, are they going to really tell you? Are they going to say, Lila, I knocked one out to Nala's old videos yesterday? Are they they're really going to be upfront with that?
Yeah, Pearl, I think if you're going to get super personal and disgusting on the stream, I'm not going to join you on it. So we can have a good faith conversation, but I just want you to have a level of propriety on it, if that's okay.
What was personal?
Well, for you to say, how do you know, Lila, personally, every man that you know isn't watching pornography? I don't know. I'm not in the personal lives of every man that I've encountered.
That's all you had to say is I don't know.
I know. I'm just saying you making graphic descriptions, knocking it out to Nala, who's a Christian woman now. She's left behind that. I think that's called a below the belt comment.
Okay. We are adults here. And if we're talking about corn, we do have to get specific. So if you can't take it, it's okay. You're welcome to go. But
I think if you're going to do personal attacks, then yeah, I don't think that's a good way to have a conversation.
I'm not attacking.
I'm not just saying on me. I'm on other people too. I don't think that's a good thing to do.
Okay, is Lila's video. Okay, so you have a tendency to tone police. And I just think it's very difficult to have a conversation if you're always going to be tone policing. So we can do it, we can not do it, but if you're the authority here on what's allowed to be said and not allowed to be said, it's just going to be difficult to talk.
I'm not sure what to say to you, Pearl, on that.
Okay, well, then I'll continue. So I don't think that it's very, I think it's a little bit naive to say that you genuinely know if they're watching corn or not. The majority of men have watched it and are actively consuming it. I would say if you really, if men are honest, most of them are going to do it at some point in their life. And if you look at the numbers of them watching it online, the number of men that are actively subscribed to OnlyFans, it's a lot bigger of a problem than we're letting on. Most men do it. Agree, disagree?
If you'll let me respond, I'm happy to respond.
No one's stopping you.
All right, thank you. Well, you interrupted me a few times, so I'd love to be able to respond.
Okay, that is how conversations work, Lila.
Okay, so I think, like I said earlier, I think, yes, the large majority of men and women today have seen porn at some point in their lives, and many people are addicted to it. More men than women, but women as well. That being said, not every man is regularly watching porn. I know many men who are proudly free of porn addiction and watching porn. And I think to say that every man is always watching porn is an insult to men, and to certainly say that about women would be an insult to women.
Okay, well, you could be insulted, but that doesn't make it insulting. I would say that's pretty realistic. So
I have can I ask you a question, Pearl?
My next question is, what do you expect men to do when they're not getting sex? So there's many men in society that are in tough situations. Their wives are not sleeping with them. Their wives have gained a lot of weight. Maybe they're deployed overseas. Maybe they're traveling for work. What do you expect them to do?
Are you talking about married men right now? Or are you talking about
any
man?
Married men? Yeah, either or.
Yeah, well, I think this goes the same for both men and for women. Nobody needs sex as a biological need. So we are given the power to choose. We're given the power of our reason and our will. And because of that, we have the ability to say no to sexual temptation, whether that's inside or outside of marriage. Now, if someone is married, sex is a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. Having a lot of it and being intimate is a beautiful thing, especially because it draws two people together. It builds intimacy. It can also bring children into the world, which is beautiful. That's awesome. In a situation where there is an issue in a marriage where the couple is not being intimate because of issues they have between them, I recommend, and I think anybody would say what's in their best interest, is to go and get support and counseling so that they can figure out whatever differences that they have so that they can come together and be one again, as opposed to being at war with each other.
Okay, so your expectation is men that cannot get a wife, they should never have sex or do anything sexual for life.
Yeah, or women. It's not just a standard for men.
Okay, well,
men
we're talking about men, and we could go into the women later, but right now we're talking about men.
The moral law is the same for men and women.
Okay.
So both men and women, if they're not married, and this is the Christian teaching, and I think it's also in their best interest long term, is to have chastity. And that's inside and outside of marriage, there's chastity. It looks different. Outside of marriage, chastity includes abstinence, not having sex.
Okay.
And this is something that is possible beautifully. There's actually an entire celibate priesthood in the Catholic tradition.
We all know how that turned out, Lila.
Well, our Lord was celibate, and he created a priesthood that's also been celibate. Most of the priesthood, not all.
Okay.
So there's certain rights where you can marry, but the large
Do
majority
you
of priests
think
today are
do you
celibate.
think that's in your position as a woman to tell men that?
I'm not telling men that, Pearl. This is the teachings of the Catholic Church. So
Do
I'm
you
not
think
sure
it's
what
in your
you
position
mean
as
by
a
that.
woman to tell men that?
To tell men what, Pearl? What are you
That
speaking
they
about?
should not watch porn.
So this isn't like Lila Rose's opinion. This is something that is a moral law that is beyond me, beyond you, Pearl. This is a law that comes from God himself. And it's not just for men. It's not like sex selective. It's for men
Right.
and women.
But
And
why not let God
if you'll
say
let me
it?
finish, and if you'll let me
Why
finish,
not
the moral law.
say
Are you
it?
Catholic, Pearl? What's your faith? Do you have a faith?
Why not let God say it?
Pearl, do you have a
If
faith?
if I did have a faith, I certainly wouldn't use it to build my brand online.
I'm curious if you have a faith, or if you don't want to share, that's fine. But
If I did, I would not use it to build my brand online.
But do you have one? Is my
I
question,
wanna
not
go
whether or
back
not you'd
to
use your brand for it.
I want to go back to the
Are you
question.
dodging me, Pearl?
I want to go back to the question.
You can just say you're not comfortable answering.
Do you think it's in your place as a woman? I will. You can't overtalk me on my show. You can't. I will just mute you. I will. So, yeah, that might work on these other shows. It doesn't work here. I need you to answer the question. I do need you to answer the question. I will unmute you in a second. I will. Do you think it's in your place as a woman? And I want you to really think about this. Me and you are both in a privileged class as women. We're both in privileged classes, meaning we talk into a microphone. We do not have difficult jobs. We don't. Do you and I want you to think about this with a real life example. There's men overseas deployed fighting for our country. Do you think it's in your place as a woman to tell them that they should not watch porn? Go ahead.
Again, Pearl, it's not like my opinion. So I'm not sure why I think you're trying to get a gotcha and you're not going to get. This is not Lila Rose's question.
I'd really just like you to answer the question. Do you think it's in your place as a woman? Do you think it's in your place as a woman to tell them that? And I will give you another example. I will give you another example. So there might be rules at work, right? Like if I go to work and let's say I used to work in a sales job and there were rules for the company. And if my boss did not follow the rules, I knew the rules of the company. I would say it would not be in my place to tell him, even if he's not following the rules, because it's just out of my place as an employee. And I'm saying it the same thing as a woman. Is it your place as a woman to tell men that they should not watch porn?
Just to be clear, Pearl, it's not about telling men something specific. It's my role to speak truth. I think we're all called to speak the truth. And it's not a special truth for men versus women. This is a really important point.
But why would you know the truth as a woman?
Let me finish, Pearl. Come on. Let me finish here.
Why would you know the truth as a woman? Like
it's not about as a woman. I think I think I would encourage you. I know your platform is very much about almost the war between the sexes. I would encourage you to not try to cultivate that war. Instead, look at it as human beings, souls made in God's image. And what is he calling us to? The purpose of the moral law is to give us freedom so that we can choose.
I will use another example so you don't see it as a war. If I have a child, and there are times when maybe you don't follow the rules as the adult, you do things wrong too. We're all human. But when I was a kid, I wasn't going to tell my mom or my dad they were doing stuff wrong because it wasn't my place. Like imagine if I went into my dad's house and I said, Dad, you need to do this, this, and this. Why didn't you do the dishes? And he should do the dishes or he should do that. But, it's just out of my place as a kid. And that doesn't mean I hate the kid. But, the kid, you got to know your place. Do you not see any parallels to that and women speaking to men in the way that you are speaking and informing men?
Pearl, when I speak on issues of sexual morality, which is part of our platform, and by the way, I think Christ calls all of us to speak the truth in and out of season when we can.
Oh God, no.
And yeah, I do think we're called to do that. And it's it's to both men and women. So I think this is really important. It's not like men are given advice that is not on morality. It's not like there's a special morality just for men when it comes to sex and a special morality for women. The sexual morality that we're given, not by me, not by you, by God and natural law, God's natural law, and also you can see it through divine revelation and the tradition of the church, is a morality for both men and women, married and unmarried. And its core is chastity, which is virtue. Men are called to it and women are called to it. And when men aren't living virtue or women aren't living in virtue, both of them can become increasingly haywire. We hurt each other. Then the war of the sexes commences. So speaking against porn is not just about men, it's about men and women.
Yeah, I think that you will lose more people than you help, because no men want to be nagged by women about what they should and shouldn't do. And as I've said before, any woman that tells men what to do is a feminist, because you are applying that you have authority and you are equal. And I don't think you are. So I would say we are subordinates.
Well, I think men and women are made equal in dignity before God, and they're both made in the image of God.
Do you believe in the
But
natural? Do you believe in the natural order?
If I can ask you a question, would it be okay if I ask you a question?
Do you believe in the natural order of the world?
I absolutely do. Would it be okay if I asked you a question?
So that would be a hierarchy, correct?
It includes order and hierarchy. Yes, I agree with that.
So again, it just goes back to the same question. The war of the sexes, I would say, is women challenging men's authority. And I would argue that you are the same as a blue-haired feminist. Because by nagging and telling men what to do, you are doing the same thing. You are implying that you are equal, which is what feminism fought for. So anyways, I will unmute you, but I do want to show that you are also interrupting me. So
yeah, Pearl, muting your guests is a very disrespectful thing to do.
Okay, and I'm going to do it again. Yeah, again, you can nag these simps. You can't nag me. All right.
I don't know how much she's muting me. So if she's just going to keep muting me, I don't know there's a point of being able to have a discussion.
Okay.
So I don't know how much she's joking about muting me constantly. I don't know. I don't see her muting, so I don't know how much she's doing it. But it might make sense to not to have the conversation if she can't have it in good faith.
Yeah, you can.
It's a really bad faith conversation if she's just going to mute.
I'm having a good faith. The problem is, here's the challenge. Actually,
can you hear me? Am I muted or not?
You get to go on these. You go on these shows and you do over.
Can you hear me?
Monologue, and you're kind of used to doing it. So it's again.
Pearl, can you hear me right now?
Signaling.
Pearl, are you listening? Can you hear me? Okay.
I do hear you.
If you continue to mute me, I don't even know when you're muting me or not. I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with you. I don't think you're acting in good faith right now. So I'm gonna have to end the stream with you if you're going to continue to mute me.
Yeah, you can't stop me. Look, it's either submit to the rules of the show or don't. Okay, well, I'm always waiting for these like feminine women to show me their submission, and they just never can.
So are you going to continue to mute me during our conversation, or is it going to be a good faith conversation?
If you overtalk me, I will unmute you. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to have to close out then, because I think you need to let your audience decide who's overtalking who.
All right. See ya. They can't handle me. They can't handle me. I know this is the thing. They gaslight you to eternity. They overtalk you and then they never shut up. I would never, and this is the thing, I would never go on someone else's show and overtalk them. I would never do it, because it's basic respect. Like, Christian women pretend, they show you, and I'm so passionate about this topic. They show you exactly why nobody wants to be a Christian and why we don't see Christian women as any better. All she had to do was submit to the rules of the show. That's it. You're coming on my show, you obey my rules. I'm not going to insult you. I'm not going to yell at you. You got to let me finish, because this is my show. And these women are very controlling. That's why they like the Bible. It's not because of God. What they like to do is they like to nag, girl boss, have leverage, and they cannot give up control. And women like Lila, they have gone their entire adult life. They've gone their entire adult life without anybody telling them they're wrong. Because when you're a pretty girl and you're Bible thumping, who's going to tell you to shut the fuck up? Nobody. Nobody. And I just want you to know, women like her just have a tendency to push more people from Christianity than bring it. I'm not religious because of women like her. If Christian women really supported men, they would have to step down. They can't expect men to step up without them stepping down. Again, Lila can't shut up. And the lack of self-awareness, it's just the lack of self-awareness is crazy with these women. Imagine if I went on Kevin Samuel's show when I went on and I just started over-talking him. I would never do it. I would never do it. I would never. But here's the thing. These women are in their mid-30s. They've never had basic respect, decor, or cadence to men, and they think that they're not rude because they speak in a nice tone. Anybody can have a soft voice and still be a bitch. And I'm not even saying I got nothing against her. But, just because you talk in a nice tone, it doesn't mean you're doing any good. Yeah, I know. I did the same thing Kevin Samuels would have done. And look, I like to be honest here. I am not a conservative Christian woman. I wish I was a better person. I have a lot of ways to go. But it's just women have no idea how unlikable they are. They don't. They go on these shows, they overtalk everybody. And again, because nobody will ever tell them about themselves, they just go on all these shows, make a bunch of money, and then wonder why people are not interested in Christianity. Catholics think sex is not a need, and God forbid, and they forbid priests to get married. This is a demonic teaching. All right, I'm going to play a video that I just think demonstrates this really easily. And by the way, I've been on very adversive panels. Here we go. This is what Lila reminds me of. Oh no. This isn't the clip I was looking for. I wanted the one, if you could find, I don't know where it is. I want the Nick clip where he was talking about the Tucker Carlson thing, but not when he was actually on the show. He had a clip recently in the last few shows. It's okay. Now, Laura says you didn't treat her with any respect. Did I insult her? No, I just said, look, you can't overtalk me on my show. This is my show. I did a lot of work into building it. If I come on your show, I know I'm submitting to your show. Be more specific. I want the Nick clip. He's talking about how women, it's like gatekeep, girl boss. And he was talking about how Tucker's out of touch and how terrible women are. Respect and earned. If she's being rude, then she didn't earn shit. I know. Okay, I guess I'll go over some of my points. Oh yeah, drop a link and I'll come on. I'll go over some of my points that I wanted to talk about. 80% of women gain 20 pounds or more in the first 5 years of marriage. I wanted to talk about how there should and is, and we could live in a fantasy world or a real life world, and the conservatives tend to live in a fantasy world. I wanted to talk about how absurd it is when she's in a very privileged class of society. So she's in this little bubble, right? In Orange County. She gets to talk into a microphone for a living out of the comfort of her own home. I wanted to talk about how it's really out of place for you to say to a man deployed overseas there and nag them about porn. Like, what have you done in your life to think that you have the authority to nag a man about porn? Like, imagine how ridiculous that is. These men, or like the men that are in the sewers, like their hands are deep in shit. And then Lila's like, if you rub one out after work, bad man. And the guys are like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Oh my God. I wanted to talk about how she uses her platform to virtue signal, and how I don't think you're going to win anybody as Christians. I don't think you're going to win anybody to your church by you saying, I'll pray for you. Because essentially on Twitter, she called me, insinuated I was the devil. Because I said porn has saved more marriages than it's destroyed, because men have these terrible wives and so they got to jack off. And she tweets it and says, your affectionate uncle screw tape or something. I didn't know who that was, so I Googled it. Lila couldn't answer a simple yes or no. I know, the obedient women, the submissive, obedient women. It's like, God help your husbands. Because again, if you guys were what you said you were, I would just see it. I would see it in your actions. You would be submissive, obedient women. And I think that's why people come at me. They're like, Pearl, why aren't you this submissive, obedient? I'm like, look at, I'm not. But I'm a D3 player. I know the D1 players. And see, this is another woman. Lila did great. Pearlie's very unprofessional. That's a woman. See, they tone police. They actually can't they come into a man's world, and really podcasting, streaming, that's a man's world. Do you not think people get cussed out at the office when women aren't around? But you come into a men's world and say, do it my way, tone police, shut the fuck up. We hate Karens. We hate Karens. We hate Karens. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like you're derailing the conversation, because now I have to go back and forth with you about, oh no, do your show this way, then leave. Nobody can put a gun to your head. Nobody can put a gun to your head and make you be here. Now, anyway, so she insinuates that I am the devil, or I'm possessed by a demon or some BS. And then they always say, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. So you're using God as a way to signal that you're more moral than me. I get it. I'm going to hell. You're going to heaven. I get the point. That's always the point of all these trad women. I am immoral. You are moral. And then what they do is they try to bring up your faith. And what they're trying to say, what the manipulation is, they are trying to display that they're more like, they're better at God than me. That's their end game. They want to say, I am better at God than you. Do you have faith? That's translation for, I want to prove that I'm better at God than you. That doesn't, again, if you were so good, your actions would speak louder. Your actions would speak louder than words. I'll pray for you is just another way to say, go fuck yourself. Porn is a tool that men can use when they have these terrible wives. What up, Doug MPA? That's pretty funny, right?
There is no other way, Pearlie. No other way. When she won't even let you get a word in, because Lila, the only way that could have gone was you would have to let her talk for 3.5 minutes before you could say something.
There's never any introspection. Do you know what I mean? When I'm like, hey, you have a tendency to monologue. You have option A, adjust.
Yep.
Option B, do whatever the fuck I want. And they always pick option B. I'm going to put the link in the chat so people can come up, because I planned to do this for an hour and a half and that ended
I see a lot of ladies in the chat saying that they want to come up here
Oh,
and tell Pearl what's what. Come on, ladies, come up.
yeah, come
And
up.
tell Pearl
Come up.
why she's wrong.
Yeah,
And
tell me why I'm a bitch. Sorry.
and so one of the best sayings I've ever heard in the Red Pill is the 20th century was women rewriting the rules to society, and the 21st century is going to be men responding to it. Remember, the two biggest superpowers that men have is determining who their girlfriend, fiance, and wife is. If you choose to get married, don't do it, and then walking away. Right? Women always want to do whatever they can to keep a man from doing those two things. Women have said, "Oh, men need to learn how to control their sexual urges and not just look at women for sex and blah 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 blah." Okay, guys, okay, I won't approach women. I'll be on my purpose. Or how about this? I won't go around getting a bunch of fat bottom feeders pregnant. I'll just rub one out. How dare you watch corn? It's insane. I, I used to mentor. I used to have a mentorship group, and the guys in their 20s, especially the ones in college, I'd be like, guys, stay away from don't go to these frat parties where you can get drunk and have some girl accuse you of stuff. Women hate the average man, so until you make something of yourself, stay home, play Xbox, rub one out. Honestly, how do you lose by doing that?
Yeah, and they're like, sex isn't a need for men. I'm like, yeah, okay. All right. I want to react. This is the clip I wanted. I'll bring AJ up too. Actually, I'll give AJ his 2 cents because you guys are funny together. And then we'll react to the Nick clip and then we'll take some more callers. AJ, welcome to the show. What'd you think?
Dang, I was trying to super chat you for kicking this broad, but I think my YouTube, I gotta update it on my phone. But thank God you kicked that broad, dude. She was asking for it, dude. She was asking for it. All the typical Lila Rose techniques where she's trying to act like she's your mom and blah 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 blah. And the moment that she saw who was her little simp white knight in the background that she was talking to when she thought she was muted.
Who's our producer? They need to make her a streaming station. I know what she's going through. I hated it when I know what she. Sorry, go ahead.
A couple of things. These chicks, you know how like these woke white chicks, they'll take like an African American studies class or like a gender studies class, and then use their like professors' talking points to lecture like other white people about racism. That's all it is. You know, they just want to feel morally superior to like lecture white people. They don't care about blacks or Hispanics or any of that. Lila Rose did the same thing with the Bible. She literally like took bullet points from the Bible, just lecture men, women, anyone else who will listen and act like she's just some superior being.
Well, and the thing is, it may be true that that's against the Bible, but it doesn't matter. You're a woman.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I was trying to say. Like, it doesn't matter if it's true. You are a woman. That is not your place.
Yeah.
And they like it, like the equivalent would be me going to work when I had a sales job and telling my boss the best way to manage. And even if I'm right, it's not my place. Your place is to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I don't understand. And then
imagine if you're Ling, you went Asian, right?
yeah. Like the whole conversation crashes to a halt when she's like, on your own show. Well, Pearl, you can't say that. It's like the hell she can't. Like, what is that? That's disingenuous and it's trying to make the discussion come to a halt. Like, who is she to tell you that you can't say things on? Oh, I'm so offended for Nala, who's a 304.
Nala's OF still up? I think it is, isn't it?
I bet it is.
I made a Nala and that's where can I send it? Curly things with a Z. Oh, I like this one. I should add this. Virtue signal, holier than thou, claim moral superiority. Again, can you put that in our? I'm going to use that.
Make a shirt.
I'm going to use that. Apparently Pete agrees with you. I went Asian and I'm happy.
But here's the thing, guys. This is the last thing that I'm going to say. Pearl, I know that your fatigue is at its absolute highest, so I don't want to bring up the black community, but I have to. What Lila Rose has been doing, the black church and these B-dubs have been doing for 30 years. You know how like you say and Andrew Wilson say that these women who say I'll let a man lead means that they're actually in charge. because the person who's deciding what rules to follow is in charge. These women who are religious, who want to judge how religious a man is, that means that they're in charge.
Well, and the other thing too, it's like, how do I'm trying to phrase this the right way? You're like insinuating that you know best.
Yeah.
like what are you, God? The women that really aren't in charge, like, do you know what their answer is whenever someone says something about their husband? I can't control him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, I would, like, you think I could tell him what to do?
Yeah. I think she's just jealous, honestly, because she has so many parameters on her platform. Like she has to do the Jesus thing. She has to appeal to a certain audience. There's certain things that she can't say, places that she can't go. And then she's a closet feminist. Well, no, she's out and out feminist. And I think that these feminists, they get mad that you have the freedom that they've been brainwashed to think that they want. Because you can basically, you are descriptive, you are reporting, you aren't prescripting anything. So you're talking to all these people, saying whatever you want, and not trying to tell people anything. And they're just jealous, I think. So
all right, let's watch this clip.
Tucker has been living a sheltered existence and I'm sick of his multiracial meritocracy BS. If he had to fight these pack of animals every day like we do, he would change his tune real quick.
You know, and look, there's a lot of truth to that. I like Tucker, and this is not an attack in any way, but it is true that if you are somebody like that, he is affected. And I don't blame him. You can't not be affected, but some of the stuff he says, it's like, dude, you know, like we're talking and he goes, yeah, you know, I have this Protestant work ethic and I would never let my kids play video games or watch TV. We always have to be doing things. And it's like, yeah, but you're rich. But you're rich. So if you didn't do things, that would be fine too. So it's like, I think about my parents. My parents work really hard all day. Then
Oh, wait, is this not the one about women? Sorry.
People need TikTok and TV, add real holiday family, and so people need the TV.
Oh, no, this wasn't it. Sorry. No, there's one from his shows recently. I thought this was a different one where he's like crashing out on how bad the women are.
I had to bring my dogs because my wife stuck me with the dogs. It's like,
no. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, Skirt. Been watching for a bit. Happy late birthday, Pearl. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's bring up Sean. He's always a good Sean. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Pearl. How's it going?
Good. What'd you think?
Hey, Sean, been a while.
is that your nice? It's my birthday. Oh, bother. Nice, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I mean, the reason why, you know, conservative women, like, they're really against the whole porn thing is because the reality is they don't want to have to compete with porn. That's really what it comes down to. For most men, the women are hotter in porn. You know, it certainly is cheaper. And, you know, the women kind of do exactly what the men want. And most women in everyday life that are conservative, they don't really want to do that. They want to make men work for it when they want to make them pay for it and all this other stuff. And there being an alternative that they now have to compete with, I think they just don't like that. And so I think that's really where a lot of this sort of anger is coming from, is when you see a threat, whether it's a hotter girl or whether it's porn or what have you, a lot of women are going to sort of backbite when it comes to that. So I think that's why you see all these videos being made, is because men are checking out. They're saying, hey, this is cheaper. This gets my needs met. It's not ideal, but at the same time, it's not as costly. And I think that's why men are kind of going that direction. And I think there's no amount of shaming that a lot of these traditional conservative women can do that are going to get men to want to have to cater to their demand. So I think at some point they're going to have to give up.
Yeah, Sean, I'm going to add to what you said. So I hate this whole male loneliness epidemic thing, right? Because remember, women are alone and they're praised, but men are alone. And it's, oh my God, it's a loneliness epidemic. Yes, men are not afraid to say that they need, they say, oh yeah, men are more likely to say they need women than women are likely to say that they need men. Yeah, but the biggest difference is men are more likely to accept that they're never going to get one.
Yeah,
The
but you know what?
homeless are men. All the people out in the woods, most of the lonely people throughout history have been men. and now women are signing up to have the same amount of loneliness. They can't handle it.
Yeah, so I think this whole male loneliness is just a bunch of crap, right? You see a bunch of articles just saying it out because they see Scott Galloway and all these other people just keep perpetuating these videos that are out there. I went to a bar the other day and there was nothing but men hanging out with other men at the bar, just kind of shooting the shit, playing games, stuff like that, just having a beer.
That sounds like a peaceful bar.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good bar, to be honest. And
Did
the guy
you have
seemed
fun?
no, I mean, like the guy seemed like they were having a good time there. So, like to me, like I don't think there's a male loneliness crisis. I think this video genre is a sort of social media psyop way of trying to say the men are lonely, therefore we need to get them to level up because we want women who want men who are leveled up. So it's just a nonsensical lie to get men to go in the direction of what women want.
I agree. Yep.
It could also
to
be
not be
that-
lonely, you have to do what women say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
the
you don't see the answer to the male loneliness crisis is to get women to lose weight so that women can be the kind of women that men want. You don't see these videos coming out. It's always men need to change for women, and women can continue being who they are, and we need to get men to conform.
When
to
are you
women.
going to start making?
Yeah, I always hear.
Well, sorry.
Men need to meet women where they're at. No, we don't. No, we don't have to.
The thing is there's also this interchangeable widget theory because we all know that like psychology and therapy is all feminist now. Anyways, well, let's just say that they are giving the same surveys to men and women. Well, guess what? Men and women process emotions differently. If you give a man a woman-based test, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that if it's not actually tailored to accurately get emotional status or loneliness status from men in a man's way, that you're going to get accurate data? Come on, man.
Also, guys, quick commercial. If you want to support me, I do think my career will be over if I get kicked off again. So go to the audacitynetwork.com just in case, YouTube. You never know which woman's going to crash out and take me down. I think we've all been taken down by a woman at some point or another.
Lila Rose probably has a voodoo doll right
Hey,
right
I don't
now.
know.
On a staff.
Look, so go to the audacitynetwork.com, $10 a month, $80 a year. If I get enough of you, I can fund all my projects, and then I don't even have to worry about if these women ruin my life again. So I know I made this all about me, but this is so. Anyways, if you want the show to go on. All right, who else do we got up here? I don't. All right, we got Brad and Handy. I'll have Handyman go first. What are your thoughts on the interaction, the show? Go ahead.
I would say the former person who was talking was 100% right. Men look for entertainment, and the market has a shit ton of entertainment for our free time. And video games, anime, comic books, movies, women are a luxury in the market. But they've gone and turned themselves into a financial liability.
Yes.
So with feminism, like women weren't, in other words, this is all economics basically. So women weren't, I hate to use the word cheap because it's taken in like the context of women were cheap or sexually promiscuous or whatever, but they've essentially raised their prices so much with their standards and what they're actually looking for, and I disagree. I think there is a male loneliness epidemic when you have 80% of men sexless and 20% or 10% getting all the women. But so that loneliness is being filled by other forms of entertainment that pass a return on investment calculus, and women don't pass a return on investment calculus anymore. So they find other avenues of entertainment.
And all we got to do really is not be fat. I
totally agree with you on that.
You guys see men are marrying porn stars just because they're not fat and OnlyFans models.
And it's a myth too. There's another thing where there's a myth where where women will say, "Oh, we want the supermodels or whatever," or she's got to have big boobs or whatever. That's total crap. Like this idea that we wouldn't take companionship and love and appreciation from a 6.5 or a 6, that respects us, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
no,
would-
you guys will take a 5 or a 6, but it's like when it's a 3.
Yeah,
Well,
she's got to be not fat, and she's got to like appreciate us. That's pretty much it.
You
yeah,
know,
there's a lot of chicks who think that oh well, if I'm the hot chick, all his friends will be jealous. No, his friends are jealous of the guy who has the wife or the girlfriend who will go to all the football games, who will like, put if he has like a UFC party, brings beers and cooks food, even if she's mid. All the guys are like, why can't I have the girl who will shut up and cook for my friends and bring beers?
Oh my God,
watching
dude.
the UFC. That's the chick that all the guys want,
Yeah, right. They all wear makeup and they all try to look like a 10, and then they all think they're 10s. It's
Or they
horseshit.
wear filters, and the filters make them look thinner, younger, and hotter. And I'm just like, that's not what you look like.
Well, I love the ones where the bitch is super attractive, but she takes a picture in her car and you see a car seat in the back,
Oh, no.
and it's just and she doesn't mention that she's a single mom in the profile, but there's a car seat in the back.
I have a poll.
And the kid's half black.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there, but
Since
yeah.
I have 7 guys on here, have you found if you're in a
What's
relationship,
wrong with being half black?
when you were on dating apps, did you find that the women, if they were more attractive, it was more likely they had a kid?
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Okay.
especially in their early 30s. Yeah,
Well,
I would say
fuck
past
that, dude.
29. Yeah, they always
dude, 25, dude, 20. See, it's worse now. 23, 24, 25.
I'm a little
seeing-
bit older,
I'm,
so
I'm seeing. Well, I'm 45. I see car seats on bitches, and they don't. And I love the pictures where they don't show you their face, their body. It's all neck up. It's like, okay, well, you're
Yeah, the
400
angle
pounds.
shot.
Yeah,
Well, you got to
Or-
see it this way, right? Like girls will get into a relationship, maybe they get married and they have a kid with the guy, and then they'll get fat. And then when the relationship goes south, she's thinking, how do I get myself a new guy? Oh, I'll lose weight. I'll get into shape for the next guy. But she won't get in shape for the guy that she's even with, who she has a kid with. That's
Yeah.
the craziest thing.
Yeah, I'll show my ex. I'll lose a bunch of weight. Why did you show him when you guys were still together?
Those are some of the most sluttiest women, by the way. The
WB,
ones who actually did lose weight.
Yeah,
WB didn't-
Brad, what did you
Sorry,
think of the show? Brad, is Brad there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
No, I can't. Your audio is pretty bad, actually. All right, we'll go to Divine Law. All right, Brad, I'll come back to you. Divine Law, what did you think of the show?
Well, I didn't get it from the beginning, but the title of your show was "Porn is the root of all evil." So
You gotta say corn with a C, buddy.
yes, okay, it's a YouTube.
Yes, go
Okay,
ahead.
get to it. What do you think?
Corn is the root of all evil. So it's you'll never see those women criticize the romantic corn of the female literature. Yes, they have all these books right now, and because the men and women they don't interact the same, and women they use corn in books with romance, and never you'll see them criticize these things, and it's always about policing the men's sexuality.
Yep. Okay, thanks for coming on. Brad, let's go back to you.
Is it better now or no?
Oh, way better. That's so much better. What did you
Okay.
think of the
Hey,
show?
Pearl. Yeah. I just want to say in general, keep up the good work. And this whole war of like red pill versus tradcon, it's not even a war anymore. Like red pill is clearly won. Tradcons are completely delusional. Like they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And one thing that really stood out to me in this conversation is you asked Lila, hey, if a Christian man is not getting sex from his Christian wife, what should he do? She said, oh, they should go to couples counseling. That is the most cuck shit I've ever heard in my life. But that is Christian logic. And I hate to say it, but the sooner as a man you can start using secular logic, use your eyes and your brain and what you know to be true, and don't care what the Bible says or what the church says, the sooner you do that, the better, because the church is just teaching guys how to be pussy simps. Like, that is the weakest shit I've ever heard. If your girl's not giving you sex, you tell her straight up. If there's not like a legitimate reason, you tell her straight up, hey, you're my girl, you're supposed to be giving me sex. If this doesn't happen soon, I'm dumping you. There's no counselor's therapy. Like, what the fuck is that?
And I
And
want
also,
to
Brett,
I
I'm
want to
sorry, go
point out that this is a Catholic woman. They all say the Catholics are less cucked or the Orthodox are less cucked. Guys, I grew up in the Catholic faith. They're all equally cucked. It's just like a cuck Olympics. It's like all the churches are battling for who can be the most cucked.
Well, you don't get
If you
church.
notice,
You don't
just
get
for
church
that-
attendance. If
If you notice, with
Yeah.
the whole sex thing, a woman not sleeping with the problem is her problem. But she said, we have to go to counseling. We have to fix her problem.
That was a good catch. That was a good
Yep.
catch.
Yeah.
Divine.
Yeah.
I want to move on to Divine Law really quick because I don't think he's spoken yet. What was your take on the show?
Yes, I've spoken, but regarding the thing of the religions, I think it's all religions the same. Now, all religions have been hijacked by feminism, and the women, the religion is only themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
And they make the rules, and they just choose any religion to make the men comply with what they want.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Sorry, Doug MPA, keep going. I just wanted to give everyone a chance.
Oh no.
I'm not sure. Maybe I did let him go before. I forget.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just Lila's winning a losing battle on multiple fronts. The freaking baby deletion thing, she's not going to win that one. The corn thing, she's not going to win that one. Doesn't she have better things to do? Doesn't she have a family
Hey,
to take care of?
women would
Pearl
rather
already spoke.
women would rather do anything than raise their kids.
Yeah, true.
Hey, Pearl had already said that her whole life's work's a waste of time. You
Yeah. Esteban, welcome to the show. What was your thoughts on it? No, nothing. All right,
okay,
well,
good, Esteban. That was good.
I tried my best.
Yeah, that people are saying, "Oh, well, we just need we need to rely on the church and God and all this other stuff." And guys, Christianity, quote unquote, is supposed to be the most patriarchal thing there is, and somehow men are still getting browbeaten in the church, and that's what tradcons don't understand.
It's
Well,
because
just don't-
it's because the state is involved.
Exactly.
That's why.
But hold
all
on.
comes
When
from
no
the
fault
state.
divorce passed, it made the actual religious form of marriage and secular marriage and diverge, right? Because remember, you used to have to actually have a third party. You had to make a good case to get divorced until the 70s, and that's when no fault divorce passed. And then men really, really got cooked, you know? So
no fault divorce is certainly part of it, but having the state involved at any level, like, just a bad idea.
I mean, this is just my take, but from hearing Lila, like, my take is I think too many women here, especially in Western countries or Western influence countries, they're raised from such a young age, because most women usually hang out with other women and men hang out with other men, is that their feelings are valid. And if anything hurts their feelings, it must therefore not be right. And if they feel a certain way, it must be true. And then when they engage with men, usually men are trying to appease to what their feelings are, because men are trying to get laid or what have you. So they go through their whole life thinking that things should align with their feelings, versus men on the flip side, we go through a whole life understanding we have to negotiate with other men and we have to adapt, and that's how we have to move. So by the time we get to our 20s and 30s and we start to date, men are thinking that women are going to act based on certain duties, and that's why they get into religious marriages and stuff like that, only to find out that's not going to be the case. And women are sort of raised to think that men always have to align with their feelings, regardless of what duties are imposed on them by religion. So whether they go to the Catholic Church or any sort of church, it really doesn't matter. You know, when you're dating girls that are culturally raised this way, that's just how they're always going to see it compared to girls on other sides of the, the planet that are raised in much harsher societies where no one cares about your religion or anything like that. You have a sense of duty, and everything is very societal hierarchies in that direction. That you're going to get a more compliant girl from Thailand or the Philippines than you will in America. That's
No,
just
it's
my
worse.
take on it.
Religious women, I think, are worse because they just find different ways to manipulate you, and they can do it under the guise of that they're better than you. So they can do it under the guise of I'm a really good person and you're a really bad person, and I'm just so moral. I get to teach you about the Bible. So I want to react to this clip. It's not the one I was looking for earlier, but I guess it'll do. This is Nick and Tucker talking, and I think it kind of shows the trad cod like kind of catching up on this stuff.
I personally find women very frustrating when they are not expressing, and I just view that as like,
of it.
I see the way I look at it is like when you look at your favorite TV shows,
Right?
The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, it's like the wife is the villain because it's like the main character, if the wife could just get out of the way, would be running the show. And that's kind of how I feel like Ayn Rand, I agree with her about this. She said that the wife's role is like hero worship. The guy is the hero. The guy is supposed to be the entrepreneur, the conqueror, whatever. And the woman is really supposed to support the man's goals and be in his world. And
that's the
felt that
last
way.
thing successful men need is more power worship, more hero worship, more.
You see, this is what you get in the church. They're like, men, wives, be bitchier. Nag your husbands more.
Oh, great. Well, you get that at work. You don't want that at home. You become an unbearable asshole. And then you fall prey to what destroys every successful man, which is hubris. Like you mistake yourself for God. You need someone who's not interested in what you do at all, only interested in you. And that's how you become balanced and wise. That's how you know your own limits. Because the ass kissing is what kills you. It's not, I mean, you had someone come to murder you at home. It doesn't seem to have affected you that much.
And if I were married, dude, she would never let me hear the end of it.
Well, that's probably true, but that's not what destroys men. It's not adversity that destroys men. It's comfort and flattery that destroys men. Right? That's what happened to King David. It's what happens to them all.
Yeah.
You're so great. You can never go wrong.
I just feel like we have I don't feel like we have an abundance of affection from women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of where the pendulum is at, I feel like the women are very unloving to the men. That's why like they don't cook. Because that's like the best way to express a love for a man. I said this on my show the other night. I'm like, the most beautiful words a woman could say is like, I made you dinner. I made you cookies.
Yeah.
Because that is like an act of love. And I think that, speaking as maybe from a different generation, the way that men feel now is like, women are not really providing too much. They expect so much from the men. They want the man to be rich and provide.
Yeah.
They want the man to be fit and a real leader and a real man. They also want to split the chores with the man. They want the man to do half the laundry and half the dishes and things like that. And it's like, so what do you do all day? You're on TikTok, you're like doom scrolling and eating Cheetos. Like what actually are you providing in the relationship? So I just feel like in terms of the deficit, it's like women are very emboldened. They're too, I think, assertive, always giving their opinions, always critiquing, always, I think that they're very bold right now. And sarcastic. I think that's a big reason why they're not very attractive.
I get it. All I would say is that in a happy marriage, all of that goes away. There's no arguing about who does what. People fall seamlessly into the roles they were born into. They acknowledge those, are not insecure about it at all. They express love in a whole.
Yeah, Tucker, when you're worth $150 and you're a Chad, it's like, sorry, $150 million. I don't know if that goes away. I just think more men would be having sex in their marriages.
A bunch of different ways by serving each other. It's like super easy. And all of that, obnoxious, entitled, you don't make enough money, all that crap just disappears.
I don't know if it does. All right, guys, what did you think of this clip?
Pearl, why hasn't cancer been cured yet?
Women are nagging their husbands out of curing cancer. They just say, why aren't you home more?
There's a generational divide clearly between what Tucker perceives as reality and what Nick and younger men are going through clearly.
Yeah. You got any thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, I
Sorry,
think
Handy, I had to drop you because of the background noise. Sean, go ahead.
I think Tucker's just pandering to grow a female.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
I can hear
Yeah,
you
go
now.
ahead.
Okay, yeah, I don't think Tucker actually believes this. I think he's just pandering to a female audience that he's trying to grow. There's no way he actually thinks this is aligned with the Bible. He thinks this is going to be aligned with what a lot of his audience members can accept. If he were to say a patriarchal Christianity point of view, a lot of people would just unsubscribe. He's going to lose followers. He's going to lose clout. So he's going to have to say what is the audience can accept, but that's probably also closer aligned to a happy wife, happy life sort of philosophy.
Yeah. Okay, I want to read. I'm going to drop you, Sean, but thanks for coming on.
No worries.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut him, but all right, Doug. So I want to read. Oh, wait, no, I'm just going to keep Doug on. How do I? Oh, he is on. There we go.
I'm here.
Okay, so I got this email that kind of details Lila, the allegations against Lila Rose, and I'm going to read it to you. There's a big political fight inside the pro-life world over how Live Action and Lila Rose spend donor money centered on high salaries, gala optics, and low direct grants. Here are a few raw pieces. In August of 2024, Lila Rose publicly criticized J.D. Vance and Trump for not backing a national abortion ban. A chunk of MAGA and pro-life accounts reposted by calling her a grifter and circulating screenshots of Live Action's Form 990 tax return for nonprofits. The core accusation: you raise millions from pro-lifers, then blow it on salaries, media, and fancy events instead of directly saving babies. So the scandal is funding priorities and optics, not money disappeared. The documented financial facts from the IRS from the 990s and charitable database, the revenue was about $13.5 million in revenue for Live Action, and the total expenses about $13.9 million, of which $3.8 million is spent on salaries and $11.4 million on publishing content, producing reports, and running Live Action news. Grants to other organizations, about $25,000 in domestic grants that year, tiny compared to the total budget. This is one of the main attack points. Almost nothing goes out the door to the pregnancy centers. Lila Rose's pay. Different sources quote different years, but the pattern is one filing cited by critics is $236,000 a year to $281,000 a year. She got a $45,000 a year raise, and her salary more than doubled versus 2017. Charity Navigator lists a later compensation figure of $375,000 for Rose as the president and the founder, with other top executives making $160,000 to $226,000. Some Christian and right-wing critics say the board salary together exceeds $1.18 million, and use that to argue that the organization is functionally a pro-life media business paying its leadership very well. The numbers are not disputed. They're in public filings. That's what the interpretation is contested. Concrete accusations from critics. Daily Dot reports a rift in the pro-life camp, saying that the activists are convinced donations are being misused because only about $25,000 in grants to other organizations, and most of the $13.9 million budget goes to salaries and media production. Evangelical Dark Web literally asks, is Live Action a grift, pointing to the $1.1 million board executive salaries, Rose's pay jumping from $161,000 to over $270K from 2020, and the idea that nearly a $300K salary to run a pro-life charity is excessive and related to results. And B, the Gala Ritz-Carlton optics. Abolitionists rising goes in hard on optics, describes life award galas at high-end venues, including the beachfront Ritz-Carlton, says the event looks more like the Oscars than a nonprofit fundraiser, argues that this shows a professional funding machine more than a sacrifice-driven ministry. No, C, not really fighting to abolish abortion. Some abolitionists crowd accuses Live Action of being similar and similar big pro-life organizations of fundraising around ending abortion, but being supportive of compromising bills and opposing abolitionist bills, full criminalization and equal penalties. Therefore, profiting from the fight continuing rather than truly ending it. They frame it theologically, making money while supporting sinfully partial legislation and killing abortion babies bills. Injustice. And then transparency and accountability criticisms. Ministry Watch gives Live Action Donor Conference a score of 67 out of 100, a 2-score financial efficiency, and a D transparency grade. They do file 990s, but are not part of the ECFA. And no audited financial statements are found on the organization's website. This is why they can't justify the funds. Narrative comes from critics. They say, we can see where the money goes, but not enough detail or auditing to prove impact or good stewardship. The defenders respond. Christianity Today covered the infighting and notes Rose's critics accused her of millions of dollars wastefully, pointing to the Ritz-Carlton event and low direct donations. Multiple major pro-life figures defended her. Accusations were a misrepresentation of the mission. They emphasized that the most expensive on the 990 go to staff and salaries, plus video and content production, which is exactly what you'd expect from a media-heavy organization. I need to look at what. Hold on. I'm going to look at her YouTube channel. Live Action. I want to see if I think it should be that expensive to do. 600K. Okay, that's I'm sorry. This is not enough content for me to get good, get like us. Sorry. Legitimacy markers. Live Action is registered as a 501c. Donations are tax deductible. They regularly file 990s. There is no public IRS action accusing them of fraud or embezzlement. GuideStar lists them with a gold transparency seals for 2023, even while Ministry Watch slams their transparency grades. Official regulators treat them as a nonprofit. The war is mainly inside the conservative pro-life ecosystem. Okay, well, it doesn't really surprise me that a woman spent too much money.
Not at all. You know that 78% of the nonprofit sector is women? That's why there's no money and so much grifting and fraud.
That would make perfect sense. Yeah, because these are the views they're getting. And I just, I don't
Thank you all so much for
I don't think this should be more than a full-time editor. Let me see.
My stepfather looked at it.
I guess these panels maybe would. It would probably be hard to get the doctors on these panels. That would probably be expensive. Unless you have people like, that's kind of going to be a connection thing because most abortion doctors aren't going to want to like go into details. Let's see, Lila Rose. This stuff is low budget. You know, it's so crazy. All that money, she had $13.9 million and couldn't figure out how to have her in charge of the thing. Anyways. Well, that's all I really got. I mean, I might as well go film some more reactions. So,
well, you tried. You know, I just don't. First off, Lila was coming to your platform, so the person who's coming to the other person's platform has to be more respectful and obey the rules. And then I just don't get the gaslighting, the over talking. I don't get it. Why? It's just not going to work.
I mean, she's too old. I mean, they've never, like, imagine never being told no till you're like 40. You know, you're a man, you get told no your whole life.
It's true.
So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Doug MPA, any final thoughts?
I'm just going to reiterate. She's losing the abortion fight. She's not going to win the corn fight. And apparently she's going to keep collecting money to pay herself and all of her executives and all of her staff a bunch of money. So
Keep the grift on, Lila. Keep it on while doing nothing.
Exactly.
That's the female job market. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like the video, and I'm gonna have some cool stuff. I'm filming like this week all the reactions for this month and next month. So I'm hoping that'll free up a little bit of time so I can do some street interviews and just some other like cool stuff. So maybe some more of these debates. I'll have more time to do whatever. Seriously though, I look, if I get kicked off again, I don't have another like I don't have another fight in me. I don't know. Yeah. So just in case that happens, yeah, I don't know if my career will survive another banning. And I've been talking a lot of shit lately, and I don't know what woman's going to crash out on me. Oh, let me react. Apparently Nick said he was going to do a show with me soon or something. I want to react to it really quick.
You destroyed Pearl Davis's YouTube career. All she wanted was pearly things. She's been crying about it lately. Would you?
I have not been crying, but I have been bitching. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sometimes I just got to bitch,
Interview her again now that she has nothing to lose. Help revive her career? Now that you're on a generational run, you could pick her back up. Come on, Nick. Save the whales. Haha, Pearl needs you.
Yeah, of course I would do another show with her. She told me the next time I'm in town, she wants to do a show with me, which I'm happy to do, but that's, I do feel a little bad about that. Obviously, clearly. Well, here's why it's funny, because there was a time when I knew full well that going on someone's show had a very high chance of destroying their career. But we just kind of had this mindset of like, well, the ends justify the means. Like, there was a period of time where we would kind of like downplay. We wouldn't lie to people, but we would say, hey, if you want to have me on, I'll come on the show. And you sort of knew like people would get in trouble for it, but it was kind of like, hey, they expect one of us in the wreckage. You know what I mean? It was like, and their career will be a valued sacrifice for the movement.
What? No, what the?
Their career is a small price to pay to advance the cause of America first, and we will sing songs about them and build statues to them. I do feel bad. It's a shame, but look, she set up her company with all black people and they all got mad at her. That's what happens. She thinks all these black people are her friend. Then she does something they disagree with and they all stab her in the back.
Hey, not all, but a good chunk. Yeah.
So I'm sort of like the Joker. She's like Two-Face. I'm the Joker. In a way, I showed her who her real friends really are. So I will not apologize for being too real. I will not apologize for being so real it destroys the world. But I love Pearl. Pearl's a friend of mine. And yeah, I'd love to do her show soon. The next time I'm in town, I'm going to do a show with her.
What do you think? Should we do it? I'm a little scared. But no one else has been kicked off. I'm kind of someone, I told you like the hierarchy of, I know I told you guys the hierarchy of YouTubers, like the free speech. I'm not an all out free speech person. I let how do I put it? They're going to clip that. God damn it. I ideally like free speech, but I'm like a calculated risk YouTuber, not balls to the walls. Nick was a risk I did not calculate because I was really busy at the time. I'm serious. So at the time, I was doing like 6 shows a week. And what happened was, and I got a lot of criticism, people saying, okay, that I knew, and I knew to some extent. Okay. I'm going to tell the story from beginning to end. God, it's like, bitch, get to the point. Sometimes I start womaning and I just can't help it. Oh, so at the time, I'm in the peak of my career. By the way, this was very stressful. I'm playing semi-pro volleyball. I am doing 6 shows a week, managing like 4 different channels. I have like 20 staff. It's crazy. So I had Destiny on recently. I had MTR at the time on, Melanie King. I had all these people on. Now, Nick, I saw Nick on No Jumper. That was where I saw him. So I did not see the J stuff. I saw Nick on No Jumper talking about race mixing. I hate that word. But so what I did was I saw it. I thought it was funny. And I was not set up. So there was somebody who at times had hooked me up with collabs. I don't even know the guy's name, to be honest. But in the industry, there's people that just know people and they just connect people. I don't know. I probably should kill him now, but whatever. But so he connected us. And I saw the clip from No Jumper talking about race mixing, and I had him on. Now, mind you, I did not do a lot of prep for these interviews at the time. I was doing so much content that now, I did know he was controversial because there were people I said I was bringing him on, and they said, ooh, bad idea. So to be fair, there were people that told me it was a bad idea. I did kind of get dumped over this. This is a long story, but we're not going to go into that. But there were people that said, don't do that, bad idea. And this kind of pissed me off because at the time I thought we were all free speech absolutists. And I was at the time. So I don't know. Would I have did it? I might have still did it. I swear to God, I don't know. At the time I was in such girl mode where I was like, we can do anything. Just be free speech. Let's fight. That I don't know. At the time, I'm a lot more calculated risk now. So I don't know if I would have did it or I wouldn't have did it. I can't say. Had I known everything. But anyways, I just kind of I feel like me and Nick kind of have the same sense of humor. I think we talk kind of similar. Do you know what I mean? I think we kind of people always accuse him of things that they accuse me of. And that was what that was my first thing. I was like, oh, and by the way, when I saw the interracial stuff, we all know that Pearl's, dated interracially. So I could be offended by this, but I just thought he was funny. And I was like, I think he'd be hilarious on a panel. I could see the vision. I'm like, let's put him on a show with a bunch of black people and tell them why they shouldn't date other races. Now, anyways, I end up doing these shows and these panels. And at the time we had a lot in the pipeline. So, I didn't even post this footage for 3 weeks later. So we were really slow back then. Yeah. And then I don't know if he took down my channel or not. I would like to clarify. That is not the official reason I was given. I do think the Groypers have a tendency to be a little bit conspiratorial. He was the source of the hit pieces on me though from my staff. That was true. That was him. I did get bullied at volleyball. I did get kind of dumped. I'm not going to tell that story, but because who wants to date a girl that's crying over, you know what I mean? At the time after I had him on and everyone crashed out on me, do you really want to date a girl crying and bringing this drama to your life? Yeah, no one does. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, I'm just being honest that it's not like this career that I have is a bonus for men. It's really not. I know it seems cool, but I come back and I'm like, my friend said this about me. It's just not. That's kind of why I've kind of died down the last few years because I want to be in a healthy relationship. I want to be, and so sometimes I got to be I don't know if this is the best thing for my personal life. I want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be single. And you guys torture whoever I did. I'm going to be honest, not you guys, but the people that hate me. My poor ex-boyfriend is still brought up in arguments. It's just do you see, this has not been a great, selling point. I think in theory, people think it would be because they're like, oh, she's so base. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Anyways. So yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna go back to this. God, it's like I'm womaning again. I can't get to the point. So I have Nick on, right? I have him on. We do this. I think it's a great collab. I had so much fun. That to this day. We have a good vibe. Like I just think because I don't really get offended. I don't really like women. He doesn't like the Jays. We just but so we have a great collab. It was one of my favorite ones I've done. And I'm just reading his Wikipedia and like, okay, when I Googled him a little bit before the interview. And a lot of people criticized me. They said, why didn't you do more research? And I'm like, yeah, why don't you get 1 billion views on the channel and film 6 days a week and do intense research on your set? They're like, oh, I'm like, why don't you do it? Okay. Sedations aren't necessarily good, but aren't evil. Now, maybe I probably should have, but I just, a lot of people that didn't do it themselves, they want to anyways. So we vibe and I'm reading his Wikipedia, but the thing is like everything was like he's anti-Semite, white supremacist, and I'm just kind of programmed. Like I don't really like when I hear that stuff, I'm like, okay, this is a bunch of propaganda. Why don't I just talk to the person and see what they're about? And that's what we did. It was a great interview. We did a bunch of reactions, and then my staff crashed out on me. I bawled my eyes out. I was devastated because I thought some of them were my friends. And then I think it was actually the song that I did that if Nick was related to my demonetization, I do think it was the song I did. Because I did get the colonizer accusations from the interview. But 6 months later, I was I was making songs about anything. You guys know I freestyle. And somebody said that I should make a song about in the chat. And you'd think I would have learned my lesson, but I'm like, I'm a free speech absolutist. But this is before. Now I've gone through 2 years of like unemployment, and that just was not fun for me. Now I have to be more calculated risks, right? And so I did a song about the J, and I just thought it was a fun song. Then I got on the ADL website. I got ambushed by Pierce Morgan. You'd have to Google it. It was I thought it was funny. They didn't, and I was told at that time you would be demonetized in 6 months. 6 months later, I did get demonetized, but it was after I did a street interview, and these black women came up to me. I was doing a sign on abortion. And it was like abortion's a cop out and people could come up and talk about the debate. Now I dunk on these women in the debate. And they come back. I released the video. They look stupid. So they come back and say, oh, we're underage. And I say, show me your ID and I'll take it down. And they wouldn't show me their ID. So I just thought they were lying. So I just brushed it off. Now, then the sister goes online and calls me a pedophile. She said she's debating underage women about sex or something. Like the way they phrased it was such bullshit. Then all these women flagged my channel and I got demonetized, fired my staff, went home, was unemployed for 2 years. Yeah. And then I restarted. Now I'm monetized again, but it still scares me having people on and talking about this stuff because ever since Trump got elected, it's a lot more free speech, but I don't think I can go through another 2 years of that. I gotta, I don't know if I don't know if I could survive, like just mentally, cause it was really demoralizing. I was working like every single day and making no money for almost 2 years, and it's not really about money, but like I need enough money to eat, and I had to move home. My poor family, who wants their old daughter back home. I can't do that to them again. I don't like being a burden onto people, I felt like such a loser in this time. So now I'm a calculated risk. I would say I started as a free speech absolutist. I'll say anything. Now I'm a calculated risk. And I did let some other YouTubers interview him and see how this went for them, and none of them got demonetized. So that's why I'm leaning towards potentially having him on. Yeah, it must have been crowded. And I understand my parents have a big house, but you have to understand, I don't necessarily, I mean, we know what gender I don't get along. I mean, let's just, I'm going to leave it at that. It was it's just, there's dynamics that didn't really make sense in this. Okay. I'll just say that. Wear that YouTube ban as an honor. Yeah, that's easy for you to say. So anyways, look, I can have them on, but I just need enough of you at the $10 a month memberships. I'm not trying to milk you, but I gotta have, I need to pay for a full-time editor. I have 2 bills plus my rent and a little bit of money for food that keep this channel running. There's like 3 people. It's a small team. Me, 2 other people, rent. And that's what, yeah, food, obviously. And that's what keeps the channel running. So if you want it to keep going, that's why I would encourage you to get $10 a month, $80 a year. I know they're saying fight Pearly. I can only fight. Look, there has to be a next step, and the next step just has to be we can get enough. You can hire a Korean and pay him $200. He'll work all day and night. Now I've done the overseas people. I have. And if I was demonetized again, that would probably be my only choice, but they're just kind of difficult to work. When you have enough money, you want to hire Americans, I'll just say. I know I need to, God damn it. I date for love, not money. That's my problem. Damn it. Why do I date for love? Oh my God. What an idiot. I should have just married into $150 million or 10 like Candace Owens or 10 million like Brett Cooper. And then crashed out. Oh, I did it without a man paying for it. Except I guess I did move home. So indirectly my father. Thank you, Dad. Damn it. Damn it. What have I done? What have I done? Oh my God. And my boyfriend's like, don't, as long as it's not my problem. Damn it! I should have married a simp. Why didn't I just go for a simp? I would accept anything. Oh, Pearl. Anyways, all right, let me watch the rest of this. I'm womaning again.
She wants to do a show with me where we do like the balloon game. And she's like, what if we did a balloon game show? This is a game where you bring on a bunch of girls.
Yeah, how funny would it be to just have Nick like humble these women?
You have like a balloon or something, and it's like speed dating. And if you don't like them, you pop the balloon. I think that's the gist of it. And she's like, what if there was like a balloon game and you ask if they're a virgin and they say no and you pop the balloon? Or what if you ask if they're Jewish and then you pop the balloon? And I'm like, I'm not Flanders, okay? You're Flanderizing me as a character. It's gimmicky. I'm like, I'll do a dating show, but I want it to be about me. I want people to get to know me. I don't want to be a Flanderized version of myself where it's like, do the line, say the thing from the show again. You know, I'm a 3-dimensional being. I'm a 5-dimensional person.
What does that even mean? All right, Nick, you can do it how you want, but it would be a pretty funny dating show. I think it'd be funny. I think he'd do really well. I'll get him some young, hot. It'd be kind of funny to get them all white women and have like a really pretty Asian, just throw her in there and a black girl.
I'm Nick Fuentes in 5 dimensions. I'm real. I'm authentic. You don't bring me on the show to nigga. He said nigga. You don't bring me on the show to say, I hate feminists. Like, I'm a real human being. I told her, I'm like, Pearl, it's just not me. You don't really get me. So, but I'll do a show with her at some point.
Nolan MC Dizzle sent 20.
Yeah, no, I do think we'll do it eventually, but I'm sorry, Groypers, put your money where your mouth is. You know what? I'm going to look how many signups I've had this show. They're like, Pearl, do a show with Nick, But if you get banned again, you're the one that's going to have to struggle for 2 years. But make it entertaining for me. How many of you signed up? How many of you? Let's see. How many this show? We got 1 yearly membership. I appreciate Ben put his money where his mouth is. Jacob, $80. Thank you. We are getting some signups this show. William, manual membership. Thank you. Jay. Okay, so I've had 1, 2, 3 signups, and I don't mean to be rude, but that's about for the yearly like $300. Yes, that is going to protect me if I have him on and I lose everything again. I didn't give you a shout out. I always read the super chats. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Did I miss some? I always try to. All right. Well, I will take that into consideration, Max. I appreciate you for signing up. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I believe I read all the super chats, but you know, Pearl, just trust Jesus. And yeah, and that's, oh my God, that's what conservatives say. They're like, God has a plan. I'm like, really? Really? I don't know, because this felt really unplanned. They're like, God will take care of it. What do you live in? Like the Old Testament? God's not here right now. I mean, I understand he's like everywhere, but he's not like coming down to earth at this moment. God will speak to you. Yeah, I think you're hearing voices. And again, it's not to be rude. $10. Thank you, Metal Duff. I really appreciate it. Thank you. He put his money where his mouth is. Am I tipsy? No, I'm not tipsy, but I think I get a little drunk on dunking on TradCon women. It's like I'm stronger now. No, I'm not. Back then, I would say anything and everything. Did you see my 16-year-old's tweet? I mean, I just was out there. I'm weaker now. I'm definitely weaker. They weakened me. I mean, that's not even a question. I mean, there's some topics where I'm like, ooh, I know I talk about black people now, but that's only after like 4 other YouTubers did it first. And I'm like, I think it's safe. I'm aware of the danger now. Persevere like Nick. Oh, yeah. Okay, Nick's a man. So let's start there. If you want me to do what Nick did, I would have to be a man. I don't have it in me to be on a no-fly list. I like flying. I have a frontier fly pass. Pearl, you got to be willing to give up everything. I'm not. That's really easy for you to say from behind a screen. I don't know who the next president's going to be. I mean, Kamala 2.0 could come in. Pearl, you need to, God has a plan. And you know what the worst thing is? They compare it to like seeing God in heaven. And I think that's how Jesus people are manipulated. They're like, well, if you don't do this, what are you going to tell God? What are you going to tell God in heaven? I'm going to say, God, do you know what? I didn't want to be on the no-fly list. I didn't. I wanted to fly Frontier. I like Frontier. And if God doesn't understand that, then do you know what? And it's always the people that have done nothing. Where's your hot wife? Nowhere. Okay. Where's your successful career? Well, I don't have one yet. Okay, let me get this straight. So you have nothing to lose and you're like, Pearl, lose it all. I did lose it all. I just want to afford rent. I want to afford rent and food and my guitar lessons. Those are important to me. Pearl, I would love to collab with you on Black Fatigue. Check your DMs. On what platform? Pearly Things with a Z. On Twitter. Pearl, stop talking about God. What are you, a woman, Richard? I mean, rant to someone else. I mean, go to someone else. Anyways, I think that's all I got tonight. I think that's all I got. I'm trying to record all my reactions, so I'm going to get through. Oh, we got another sign up. You know what's so crazy? It's like nagging you guys helps. Why do you reward me for nagging? How close was I to making an OnlyFans? I just never would have did that. I mean, I think that's something I would do when I'm 35. There's still like a little hope for me, not much, but like when I'm 35, I mean, I might, yeah. Lindsay, thank you for the sign up. I appreciate you, Chica. Oh, another one. Ben, or I think I read that one already. You can also go donate to the divorce documentary. Go do the dishes. You earned it. You DM me on every platform. Okay, guys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.